So he didn't know that they will repent when they were like sperms. That means God has also got limitations. He doesn't know everything. He doesn't know what will happen of somebody until he's about 80. He's giving you 80 years before he can determine whether you will change or you will not change. And then when she's sure that he will not change, then he will take your life, or he will kill you. That's what we're supposed to think. Anyway, it's up to you. The ball is in your court to think about it too, because I know what I'm thinking and I'm making it plain of what I'm thinking. If we want to find out also in Surah in Surah 4, Surah 4:19, it also reveals what God should do or do to women when they are caught in lewdness. It says, "O ye who believe, ye are forbidden to inherit women against their will." To sort of inherit women against their will, holding somebody against their will. Nor shall ye treat them with harshness, that ye may take away part of the doer. Ye have given them except where they have been guilty, or of open lewdness. Only when they have been guilty of open lewdness. For witnesses, somehow it is evidential. It is surely true that they have been in that. They've acted that way. On the contrary, live with them on a footing of kindness and equality. If ye take a dislike to them, if it may be that ye dislike a thing, and God brings about through it a great deal of good. If you don't dislike them, don't sort of racially discriminate against them when they are caught into that situation, and try to resent them, make them feel resented and hated, and feel bad. You know how it is. People treat people, especially if they realize you're sick of some disease, or they consider you as a leper. At that time, they see you as a sinner. People make you feel so bad. So sinners were put away. So many instances in the Bible, Jesus was, being advised. A sinner has put oil on your feet. And then this woman, what this woman do, and he come and touch you. And Jesus had to respond to that. It's the same manner, I believe, that this text is somehow revealing, or advising that they shouldn't do. After advising them of how they should act, that it is wrong, they should to the extent that death is the punishment. He also somehow, confinement is a punishment in the Quran we are talking about, Yet he's also advising here that they should be living with them, in some sense. If where they have been guilty of open lewdness, you should live with them and not sort of treat them badly. I don't know where this is going or how this is going to be, but you can look at a text too and figure out. Maybe you can make sense out. I don't want to misinterpret or put things in a different context. But whoever wrote the text here, the English is not as directly correctly interpreted. Somehow to sort of clarify what the true original Arabic text really means. And at the side here, I can read Arabic. So it is written on the side, but I'm not sure what is being read. But maybe the Arabic will understand it more. But some things we are clearly understanding. So we can use that to sort of justify whatever things we are saying here. In Surah 22, it says, "And marry not women whom your fathers married, except what is past. It was shameful and odious, and abomination custom indeed." It's like it's just as the Bible. You don't go and marry your father's woman, like Reuben going to sleep with his father's wife, one of his father's concubine, Jacob's, his one of his Reuben was the son of Jacob and sleeping with one of his father. I think he was the firstborn and sleeping with one of his father's wife. It's like it's wrong. It's an abomination. And Jacob have such thing in the family. So we can think of that also and consider of what the Quran is saying on that respect. Now, even if we choose to sort of compare if we sort of compare, if we sort of compare again of Surah 4 with what is written of let's say the prohibition of marriage, and we look at the story of Noah and Abraham in relation to the Bible, it's obviously clear, but these times the both the Quran and the Bible admits to Noah the destruction of the world, and Noah being the family and his family the only one that survives. Abraham also is somebody that we know of his marriage through the Bible. I'm yet to discover of what the marriage is in the Quran, whether the Quran agrees to the Bible as marrying his sister, Sarah being a sister, and whatever marriage he was into. Compared to Noah and Noah's Ark, it is accepted of what is in the Bible of such an incident taking place, but not having gone through to get the details of what the Quran will say as to after that how they procreated themselves, the procreation went on, how they reproduce themselves, how humanity reproduces themselves, how the animals reproduce themselves, the same manner of be fruitful and multiply. They're the same. So it was a family breed. So incest breed. So somehow the Quran will sort of agree. If others are, someone is a Muslim and he's sort of talking against the Bible for incest and going against it, I don't see how relevant in your status of being a Muslim you will be able to talk against the incest in the Bible, because you are not so far or different from what the Bible has presented. You presented the same thing in the Quran. It is clear here in the Quran how human being was created and the Noah story. So if the Quran also is talking about having issue where God prohibits sister, father, mother, whatever marriage of that nature, incest and then close relations, marriage and all that, and the Bible also says the same thing. You're both in the same shoes, you're both in the same soup, you are both in the same coffers, in the same box. You cannot look at each other differently. That's what it is. I've revealed it to you. It's no secret. We go to what do you call it? In Surah 4, verse 28, it also reveals the weakness, God's creation, and how God created human beings, and how He sees man, He sees people, because it says, I'm sure we've talked about Surah 4:23, where it talks about the prohibiting of marriage. In the Quran, where it talks about your mother, daughters, and sisters is prohibited to get married them. Now let's go to 28. 28 says, God doth wish to lighten your difficulties, for man was created weak in flesh. Man was created weak in flesh. So God created intentionally, according to the Quran, God created man intentionally to be weak in flesh. So if you have Allah created you to be weak in flesh, what is being said here is a suggestion to let you know your place, how vulnerable God has put you. And then God turns around and said, You are sin against him. You are weak. And you have sinned against him because you are weak.